Mastery of language, not a zero-sum game. Malaysian Cocoa Board to be restructured. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm Otto Othman and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. The emphasis on mastering any language should not be a zero-sum game that sidelines Bahasa Melayu as a national language. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim therefore has called on all Malaysians to strengthen their commitment to empower the Malay language. Datuk Seri Anwar, who is also a finance minister, said that similar emphasis should be applied at the private sector.
Meremehkan kedudukan bahasa. Maka eloklah kita tekankan bahawa apa sekalipun jurusan persekolahan dengan penekanan bahasa Mandarin, bahasa Tamil, tidak sama sekali perlu dikurangkan penekanan penguasaan bahasa yang baik, kerana ini sudah disepakati. Ini sudah termaktub dalam perlembagaan dan harus kita teruskan dengan komitmen yang lebih.
He said this at the launch of the National Language Month 2024 in Ipoh today. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar also criticised certain elite groups for their obsession with the English language, which has led them to underestimate the importance of Bahasa Melayu, the country's national language. He said the belief that success and intelligence can only be achieved through mastery of English is misguided.
Tapi saya tidak mendukung satu sikap yang mempunyai satu fobia terhadap bahasa sendiri dan mengagungkan bahasa lain, seolah-olah hidup kita dan kejayaan kita dan kepintaran kita hanya dengan penguasaan bahasa Inggeris. Saya ingin ingatkan elit yang terlalu taksub dengan bahasa Inggeris ini, bahawa mereka itu hidupnya di Malaysia. Mereka mungkin dibesarkan di London, tapi saya nak ingatkan mereka, hidup mereka di Malaysia. Dan mereka bertanggungjawab bukan di kalangan kelompok elit kecil, tapi mereka mesti mewakili hasrat dan aspirasi rakyat Malaysia keseluruhannya.
The public is urged to be cautious of messages shared on social media to avoid falling victim to scams or deceptive tactics by malicious individuals. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil emphasised that everyone should verify the authenticity of accounts and the accuracy of content shared. He added the community Madani volunteers nationwide must actively contribute to the government's efforts in disseminating information to the people with the cooperation of all parties at the grassroots level.
Harapan saya dan juga pihak kerajaan ialah komuniti Madani akan dapat mainkan peranan untuk membantu menterjemah apa yang kita sampaikan secara rasmi dalam format bentuk yang mudah difahami, diserap dan ditekuni oleh komuniti setempat.
Fahmi also cautioned users to be wary of social media content as it might be outdated information that has been recirculated or altered to distort the original meaning. He said this to reporters after officiating the Kita Madani program in Kanga today. Malaysia has nominated the Malaysian breakfast culture and kebaya traditional dress in the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The nominations will be inscribed during the 19th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage to be held in Secession, Paraguay in December. The Director General of the National Heritage Department, Muhammad Muda Bahadin, emphasizes the crucial need to raise awareness on preserving cultural heritage, particularly among the younger generation.
Sebenarnya di Jabatan Warisan kita masih mempunyai beberapa senarai yang dalam kita punya penyelidikan dan untuk kita angkat ke UNESCO. Dia pelbagailah dari segi yang ketara ataupun maupun yang tidak ketara. Dan kalau untuk makluman juga kita akan datang, kita akan bekerjasama ataupun dengan negara China untuk mengangkat tarian singa. Kemudian kita dengan Singapura untuk Cinggi. Itu antara yang dalam senarai kita lah, dan yang lain-lain pun ada lagi lah.
He said this to reporters at the Road to UNESCO Celebrating Our Heritage program in Subang Jaya today. The program is dedicated to preserving and documenting the diverse local intangible cultural heritage that has been recognized by UNESCO, namely Mak Yong, Dondang Sayang, Silat, Pantun, and Songkit. Coming up next, number of foreign vehicles entering at Johor Causeway, second link, return to normal. The Cabinet has agreed to restructure the Malaysian Cocoa Board to include coconuts. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also the Minister of Rural and Regional Development, said the restructuring would not require additional expenses or new positions. Now, he said the restructuring exercise might not be widely publicized, adding that he will personally inquire about the extent to which the Cabinet's decision has been implemented and the new name for the board with the relevant minister.
Sebaliknya, kita menggunakan pejawatan yang sedia ada dan membawa mereka yang pakar dalam bidang ini yang berada di Kementerian Pertanian atau Mardi atau di mana-mana institut penyelidikan untuk berada, ya. Dan ini satu pendekatan di mana kita tidak mahu berlakunya pembaziran, ya. Baliknya menggunakan resources yang ada.
He said this when met after today's closing ceremony of the Malaysia Madani Unisel Depani Open Day Tour and Kelapa Fest Bagan Dato' 2024 at Dataran Waterfront Bagan Dato'. Now, according to Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid, there are currently around 215,000 heads of households directly involved as coconut smallholders across the country. Now, the number of foreign vehicles using the land crossing between Malaysia and Singapore via the Johor Causeway and Second Link has returned to normal following the enforcement of the Vehicle Entry Permit or VEP, which is being done in stages from October 1st. Now, Transport Minister Anthony Loke said there was a drop in the number of vehicles on Tuesday and Wednesday, but the situation returned to normal after the government provided assurance that no summonses will be issued to vehicles that have yet to install VEPs.
As I mentioned, we have strategy in terms of implementation. The first phase, we are just giving reminders. Okay? But for the time being, I do not want to give a specific timeline how long will this be, because if I give a too long a time frame, then people will wait until then before they register.
Met by reporters in Johor Bahru today, Loke also suggested that VEP vendors increase registration locations to speed up applications and avoid congestion. An estimated 400,000 travellers apply for the land crossing on buses, cars and motorcycles daily. The Ministry of Housing and Land and Local Government, KPKT, is committed to empowering youth as leaders, innovators and decision makers in housing and urban development. Minister Ngako Ming said the ministry is recognizing youth voices in tackling challenges of urbanization such as affordable housing, efficient public transport and inclusive space for all. Now, he said the urban population has exceeded 75% and is projected to reach 85% by 2050. Now, therefore, it is essential to ensure that urban areas are developed sustainably.
Dengan kata lain, 85% penduduk Malaysia sebenarnya tak duduk dalam kampung lagi lah. 85% duduk dalam kawasan bandar kerana proses urbanisasi yang pesat, pembangunan yang rancak dan juga di mana oleh kerana itu we need a sustainable planning. So pastikan selaras dengan aspirasi Malaysia Madani, kemampanan penting, kesejahteraan penting, berdaya cipta, berdaya saing penting, dan of course hormat dan ihsan.
He was speaking to reporters after launching the 2024 National World Habitat Day celebration in Georgetown today. This year's theme, Engaging Youth to Create a Better Urban Future, encourages young people to actively participate in shaping the cities and communities they inhabit. Now, the development of a stronger cybersecurity infrastructure as well as tax relief incentives for companies that invest in digital infrastructure is expected to be in focus in the upcoming budget 2025. Now, experts suggest strengthening digital literacy through school education to prepare the younger generation for the digital world and its risks. Malaysian Cyber Consumer Association MCCA President Siraj Jalil said the biggest challenges facing cybersecurity in Malaysia are sophisticated attacks, lack of experts and low awareness on cyber threats. He suggested tax breaks for companies investing in cybersecurity to boost technology adoption, especially in critical sectors such as banking, energy and healthcare. He also recommended more grants and incentives for local companies developing cybersecurity software to increase Malaysia's global competitiveness. Siraj called for empowering agencies like Cybersecurity Malaysia and MCMC to better monitor, enforce and respond to cyber threats. Also proposed a national platform for online advocacy and awareness to share information on cyber threats and legal developments like the Cybersecurity Act 2024. Malaysia should prioritize investments in agricultural technology or agri-tech in Budget 2025 to attract diverse investors. Now, UOB Kay Hian Wealth Advisors, Head of Investment Research, Muhammad Sadeh Jantan, said agri-tech is crucial due to climate change, rising food prices and increasing demand for sustainable food. He said implementing tax breaks for agricultural research and development, along with subsidies for innovative farming technologies, would further incentivize investment in this area. Muhammad Sadeh also said that Malaysia should develop closed-ended and infrastructure funds which support agri-tech projects. This could bolster the country's position as a premier family office hub, with Malaysia alone having some 754 ultra-high net worth individuals with a total net worth of $30 million. The numbers are expected to grow to 1,015 individuals by 2028, according to data by global real estate consultancy Knight Frank. High net worth individuals and family offices are increasingly joining the agri-tech movement, particularly those interested in sustainability and long-term wealth preservation. Malaysia Tonight on TV1 ends here to give way to the 64th International Quran Recitation and Memorization Assembly. Our bulletin resumes on MyTV's Berita RTM channel. We'll be right back. A pioneer in the renewable energy industry, Dr. Guntur Tobeng has navigated the sector for nearly 3 decades. Now, as Managing Director of Gading Kencana Sdn Bhd, he remains a leading authority on harnessing solar power for clean, sustainable energy in Malaysia. long before sustainability became a buzzword. He was at the forefront of solar photovoltaic PV technology, often traversing off-beaten paths to install solar panel to generate electricity in remote areas.
We grew bigger from when I started the business 30 years ago. It was very small, so I do it myself. I and my partner, Hasna Mintia Wang, my wife, so we build the business together. So we did everything. We even take a boat to a remote area in Sabah, Kanowit in Sarawak, Sumambu, Saliku in Sabah Keningau, Sabah, Deeper Keningau of Sabah. So we went through all the challenges on our own.
As a responsible corporate citizen, he believes in maintaining harmony with the environment through harnessing sustainable energy for the benefit of future generation.
The most important thing for us right now is to emulate, to develop more leaders, more younger leaders to take over our business. And this is energy transition business, so it is a very noble business. So we borrowed this earth from our grandchildren. So we better make sure that when we hand over to our grandchildren, we hand over in a better condition than what it is now. So leadership.
A four-star CIDB contractor, Gading Kencana continues to be one of the larger SMEs in the domestic solar PV industry, with its annual turnover exceeding 30 million ringgit. Still ahead, Vientiane ready to host ASEAN delegates. Laos is in full swing, preparing to host the 44th and 45th ASEAN Summit and related summits, which will be held from 8th to 11th October in its capital, Vientiane. Now, flags of the participating countries are displayed at famous landmarks around Vientiane, adding vibrant colors to the city's streets, symbolizing the unity and cooperation of ASEAN nations. At the National Convention Center, NCC, the summit venue, final preparations are underway ahead of the arrival of leaders and delegates from the 10 ASEAN member states and their key dialogue partners. Among the key issues expected to dominate discussions are regional security and stability, particularly tensions in the South China Sea and the crisis in Myanmar, cross-border economic challenges, and climate change. The escalating tensions in West Asia, as well as war in Gaza, are also expected to be discussed. The ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting, AMM, will kick off the summits on 8th October, while the opening ceremony of the 44th and 45th ASEAN summits and related summits will take place on 9th October. Vietnam reported its strongest economic growth in 2 years in the quarter to end September, as strong exports and industrial production and rising foreign investment offset the effects of last month's Typhoon Yagi. Gross domestic product grew 7.4% year-on-year in the third quarter, surpassing the second quarter's revised 7.09%. Vietnam's General Statistics Office said the world economy is stabilizing as global trade in goods improves, inflationary pressures ease, financial conditions continue to loosen, and labor supply increases. Data from September showed that exports rose 10.7% from a year earlier, while industrial production was up 10.8%. Foreign investment inflows in the first 9 months rose 8.9% from a year earlier to $17.3 billion. Vietnam is targeting GDP growth of 6% to 6.5% this year and aims to keep inflation below 4.5%. Vietnam is a regional manufacturing hub for multinational corporations, including Samsung Electronics and Apple's suppliers Foxconn and Luxshare. The growth rate of inbound tourism has outstripped outbound travel during China's National Day holiday this year, thanks to China's 144-hour visa-free policy and a series of initiatives designed to facilitate foreign visitors' consumption and accommodation. Now, according to data from ctrip.com, inbound tourism orders during the holiday rose by an impressive 60% year-on-year. Within China, several cities have emerged as top choices for domestic travelers. Cities with rich cultural heritage and historical landmarks included Beijing, the capital of China. Notably, this year's National Day holiday reflects some new trends. The age demographic of travelers has shifted. Those aged 17 to 30 have emerged as the primary group, while the proportion of travelers aged 50 and above has decreased. The younger generation is placing greater emphasis on enriching experiences and is more inclined to travel to broaden their horizons and engage with diverse cultures. Additionally, traveling with friends has become increasingly common, particularly among those aged 17 to 25. Coming up in sports, Max Poole overall champion of LTDL 2024. Stay with us. Team DSM Firmenich host NL rider Max Poole has clinched the title of overall champion green jersey in the Le Tour de Langkawi LTDL 2024, Asia's prestigious cycling race. Now, the 21-year-old, who kept a firm grip on the green jersey since clinching it in stage 3, had a total time of 26 hours, 27 minutes and 44 seconds for the 8-stage LTDL, despite only finishing in 35th position in today's final stage. JCL team Yuko's Thomas Presenti finished second, while Equipo Kern Farmas Unai Iribar Jorge was third. Italian Matteo Maruselli of JCL team Ukyo scored a hat-trick of stage wins when crossed the finish line in 3 hours 7.38 seconds, with Tudor Pro Cycling teams Arvid de Klein and Astana Kazakhstan teams Gleb Shritsa coming in second and third respectively.
Did a good job, controlled the race well with
The country's representative, Malaysia Pro Cycling MPC, finished as the third best Asian team behind JCL team Ukyo and Thailand national team. Now, the Youth and Sports Ministry, KBS, hopes that the state governments will be more serious in organizing the Tour Langkawi LTDL race together with the ministry in the future. Minister Hannah Yeoh said that the states are aware of the returns from organizing races, which led to attracting tourists and boosting the local economy. But on the other hand, they are not willing to bear the cost of organizing as a sponsor.
When we write to all the states, we actually don't get much feedback in terms of sponsorship funds. So we always have to rely on ourselves to go out and look for sponsors. So it's all done by us, federal. Everybody wants to go to their place. Like I say, everything is about costing. Even to come to Sarawak is actually not easy. The cost grew a lot for us. Yeah, but we were very determined to make this work because we really want the cyclists to experience both Peninsular and also East Malaysia.
She said in a press conference in conjunction with the final stage of LTDL in Bintulu today. Earlier, Hannah witnessed the flag-off of cyclists for the final stage of the 2024 LTDL competition involving a route around the Bintulu division for a distance of 147.5 kilometers. She also revealed that the total sponsorship funds for LTDL amounted to 8.1 million ringgit. Including from private companies such as Petronas and Tourism Malaysia, while KBS and the National Sports Council, or MSN, spent almost 12 million ringgit to ensure that the 8-day race ran smoothly. Diogo Jota's early goal was enough to give Liverpool a tight 1-0 victory at Crystal Palace and ensure the Reds go into the international break top of the Premier League. The Londoners started the game sharply and had the ball in the net inside 30 seconds, only for Eddie Nketiah's deft finish to be ruled offside. Liverpool then took the lead with their first real attack in the 9th minute when Cody Gakpo ran on to Konstantinos Tsimikas through ball down the left. He centered for Jota, who breezed past Palace debutant Trevor Chalobah to poke home from close range and record his 4th goal of the season in all competitions. The match left Liverpool with 18 points, with City and Arsenal on 17. Crystal Palace, meanwhile, remain winless with 3 points from 7 league games. Elsewhere, Mateo Kovacic scored either side of half-time to fire Manchester City to an entertaining 3-2 victory over Fulham at Etihad Stadium, as the hosts kept their grip on second place in the Premier League standings. While City dominated possession early on, Fulham grew into the game and were first on the score sheet when Andreas Pereira stabbed it home in the 26th minute after a crafty back heel from Mexican Raul Jimenez. City equalized 6 minutes later when Fulham struggled to clear a corner and the ball fell to Kovacic, who took one touch before firing it in. The midfielder grabbed his second in the 47th minute when he latched on to pass from Jack Grealish and rifled home another terrific finish from the edge of the area. Jeremy Doku gave City a 2-goal lead in the 82nd minute with a rocket into the top corner of the Belgians' first goal of the season. Rodrigo Muniz pulled one back for the visitors in the 18th minute with a shot from 15 yards out that deflected off John Stones and into the roof of the net. However, City held on to win against a Fulham side that would have been disappointed to leave without a point. Al Hilal came back from a goal down to defeat Al Ahly 2-1 on a dramatic Saturday evening in Jeddah to maintain their perfect record at the top of the Saudi Pro League. Now, 2 goals from Alexander Mitrovic at the packed King Abdullah Sports City made it 6 wins from 6 for last season's champions and this season's leaders. Al Ahly went in front with 12 minutes played when Gabri Vega was sent through on goal by Frank Kessie, with the Spaniard rounding Yassin Bonu to open the scoring at King Abdullah Sports City. Party was restored early in the second half through Al Hilal's master marksman as Alexander Mitrovic nodded home a trademark header from Renan Lodi's delivery. Al Hilal were then awarded a penalty when Ryan Hamed fouled Malcolm inside the box, only for Mitrovic to see his effort saved by Abdul Rahman Al-Sanbi. However, the Serbian was given the chance to redeem himself after the VAR deemed encroachment had taken place, and he made no mistake at the second time of asking to net his 14th goal of the season in all competitions. Al Hilal remained top of the standings with 18 points and a 100% record, 3 clear of Al Ittihad, while Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr sit a further point behind in third.
Melaksanakan misi, mempertahan maruah, mencipta secara setia, bertemu takkan jenta dengan asalkan membuat peluang untuk segerakan satu perjuangan, satu suara akan demi rencana di dada dalam memburu takkan keaduan, kekuatan bicara.
That's it from us this evening. In our top story, mastery of language, not a zero-sum game. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching.